Hey there folks, my name is Michael Bertrand and today I'm going to talk about the concept of a global minimum wage. As we go into this bright new millennium where we have the potential to not just continue to increase our material prosperity, but to spread that material prosperity over the entire world, to bring everybody in the world up the scale of civilization. We are going to need metrics. We're going to need ways of measuring things that don't exist now because we're still stuck in the nation state model, where that is the largest thing we can think of, and the international units, the ways of imagining everyone in the world to truly be equal, they just don't exist yet. So I propose a global minimum wage. Now, the simplistic approach would be to just take the minimum wage of whatever country we choose, probably the United States, because, like it or not, they're still in charge, and just translate it into whatever currency they use in whatever country you choose, and that should be what everyone gets, right? But that would be hard to do. And to be blunt, we need to give corporations a reason to invest in third world countries. Aid is great, but what really would help them is profit. So these two needs seem to be at odds, but I think there's a middle ground. Instead of just translating everything into another currency, you instead have a global minimum wage based on not money, but lifestyle. You define some things that are necessary for a middle class, or at least a decent lifestyle, and you make that lifestyle your minimum wage, so to speak. You know, access to education, clean water, etc., etc. That way you can use the economic disparity between the top 2 billion and the bottom 2 billion to your advantage, because that way the labor is still cheap to the corporations. Not as cheap as it was, but it's still cheaper, and yet you're guaranteeing that these people will have a decent life. Ideally, what this would lead to is corporations finding it cost effective to do the necessary infrastructure building themselves. To make corporations look at the bottom line and think, you know, we could continue giving our employees the money for tiny, inefficient schools, or we could just build a school and save money that way. That way, the corporations get what they want, cheap labor, but the most important thing is the infrastructure will be built, wealth will be transferred to these countries that desperately need it. It gives their economy a reason to live, and yet it's not what we have now, which is essentially the rich nations enslaving the poor nations, all for, all in the name of the almighty corporations. Basically, I want to create a world where if the corporations want to exploit cheaper labor by making things wherever the labor is cheap, they're going to have to invest some of their money in actually making those places better. Sounds like a good deal to me. What do you folks think? My name is Michael Bertrand, and that's my idea for today. Talk to you later, folks.
Joseph's face was black as night. The pale yellow moon shone in his eyes. His path was marked by the stars in the southern hemisphere, and he walked his days